The African continent consists of 53 countries, one of which is Uganda, Pearl of Africa, as it was famously called by Sir Winston Churchill. Vast lakes such as Lake Victoria, Lake Albert and Lake Edward, the White Nile, jungles and savannas make up the character of the green country at the heart of Africa. 6 national parks and 9 wildlife preserves await tourists. The typical African fauna and flora provide one of the main sources of income. A cruise on the White Nile up to Murchison Falls and the open, light-hearted and zestful Ugandan people are certain to make your visit unforgettable. Copper, nickel, rock salt and above all crude oil and natural gas deposits, which were only discovered in 2009, are some of Uganda's natural resources. For the most part, the Ugandan landscape is dominated by farmland, which is cultivated by hand with no technology to speak of, on a subsistence basis. The farmers grow cotton, sweet potatoes, rice, peanuts and many other crops. The north of Uganda in particular is structurally weak, a result of a civil war that ravaged the region for more than 20 years. Everything began here in the village of Odek in 1986, where Joseph Kony had a vision on this very rock.
Joseph Kony would start climbing this mountain regularly, always carrying a palm tree branch. This went on for 1 month. Then he started mobilizing people to overthrow this government. After having mobilized some youth, he would take government troops using no weapons but catapults. Once he had gathered enough soldiers, he would come to this rock to pray with them. That was the time when Joseph Kony was still friendly to people, and people respected him. Things changed when he started abducting children.
On the 1st of April 1987, Joseph Kony and 11 of his followers left Odek in order to found the LRA, the Lord's Resistance Army. In the course of the following war, the LRA abducted approximately 66,000 children and abused them as child soldiers and sex slaves. The war claimed more than 500,000 lives here in North Uganda. Whole villages were burnt to the ground and countless families were wiped out.
In the evening.
It happened in May 2004 and started around 6 o'clock when people had just gathered for the evening market. The rebels came blowing trumpets and horns, and suddenly they opened fire, shooting at everyone at the market and in the neighborhood. As it was market day, the soldiers, supposed to be our guards, were all drunk. Even the children were killed. They were thrown into burning huts. Some were stabbed, others were speared. The following day the scene was really nasty. Many people had died and some bodies had burned beyond recognition. That's why this monument has been put up here, because there are so many graves. One of my children was killed that day.
The ceasefire of 2008 left the region with hardly any infrastructure. Extreme poverty, war traumas, insufficient access to education and ailing healthcare facilities are just a few aspects of the harsh circumstances that the locals still have to cope with today. 80% of the population were fugitives in their own country during the Civil War. The German foundation Kriegskinderstiftung, meaning war children, knowledge instead of weapons, is doing its best to help Ugandans secure an existence and rebuild their society. At the moment, this is primarily being done by providing local youths, most of whom are former abducted children, with the means of education and qualifications. They are given the opportunity to find their place in society through academic education and job training that will enable them to shape their lives as well as their community. As a first pilot project, the Foundation financed a 6-month vocational course for war children in the Unwoya district of North Uganda. The local training in the small town of Anaka was set up by a Ugandan partner organisation called the Peace and Development Foundation Africa. As a result of its efforts, 50 local youths have so far qualified as carpenters, tailors, hairdressers and bricklayers. As they did not have the chance to graduate from school and lacked any prospects, the project is the only chance for a new self-determined life for the participants at the moment. The transmission of knowledge, skills and expertise is the only way to make a positive and lasting impact on the lives of the troubled youths. The Foundation and its partner organisation implement this principle by exclusively employing local staff in their efforts to promote and support education and self-initiative in order to overcome poverty and strengthen the community.
You know, these students, mostly we enroll them from the community there, and these are the students who were once outdropped from the school. Others from primary 7, senior 1, and primary 6 there. So they have dropped out of school due to financial problems. They have no money there. They didn't have money to continue their education. So we have enrolled them here. And I expect at the end of this training, as they will be going out back to the community, they will be able to support themselves. They do something which can support themselves and for them living, and financially they will have something at least to support them and their family.
With its efforts, the Foundation tries to strengthen self-help in North Uganda. Providing professional training is meant to increase the chance of a better future. Some participants have already been able to seize their opportunity. They have managed to secure jobs at local companies and can now provide for their families, which is a great success for both the students and the organizations.
I took part in the first vocational skills training that was run in Anaka, and I finished a course in bricklaying and concrete practice. I soon got a job with a building company. This job helps me to support myself and my family. With 17 years of age, I am now the economical head of my family.
Because of the positive response caused by the first course, a second vocational training program was launched in 2012. Again, 50 participants were given the opportunity to qualify in one of 4 jobs, as the Peace and Development Foundation once again joined hands with local teachers to ensure the success of the program.
Peace and Development Foundation Africa on this program of vocational skills training has 4 teachers for each of the departments. Each department has a teacher, so the total number of teachers are 4, and the total number of students who are regularly coming to school are 40. So this has all been possible because of Kriegskinderstiftung support to pay for the teachers, to pay for all the requirements for the vocational skills training, and up to now we are very grateful for Kriegskinderstiftung for enabling us run this project nearly coming to an end.
The Foundation, War Children, Knowledge Instead of Weapons, is going to continue working with the Peace and Development Foundation and the local population in order to find ways of overcoming current problems. Their shared goals are particularly peaceful cooperation, the strengthening of the community, and an improvement in living conditions. In the long term, there are plans to establish a peace and education centre in order to intensify this successful work and make a positive impact on North Uganda in a long-term and sustainable way. Only cooperation by many can bring about change in a culture defined by violence for so many years and turn it into a culture of peace and reconciliation.
Gehen Sie gemeinsam mit uns diesen Weg ein Stück weiter.
Join us as we move towards a brighter future for the Ugandan people. Please think about donating to our projects, support us with your ideas, and help us by sharing our plans with others.